Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bright Spots. I am so excited you are here. If this is your first time stopping into Bright Spots, leave us a message down below. Let us know that you're here, why you're here, what brought you here, and also tell us all about our guests. So I'm guessing if it's your first time here, it's because of our guests. So please, please, please pop in and tell us all about our guest. Also, if you've been here before, we want to know that too. Tell us what brought you back tonight. Anyways, I'm glad you're here. It is Ash Wednesday, the beginning of Lent, and that means spring is around the corner, right? I can't believe that it's already Ash Wednesday. Easter comes early this year, so Ash Wednesday is early. So did you celebrate Mardi Gras yesterday? Did you eat pancakes? I told my husband late last night, I guess we should have made pancakes for dinner. I did not. But I hope you had a good Mardi Gras, and I hope you had a blessed Ash Wednesday. I have a friend who is the chaplain at a veterans hospital on the east coast of Pennsylvania. And he posted to Facebook today something very interesting, and it really struck a chord with me. He said that someone stopped in his office and asked, "Are the ashes on Ash Wednesday Catholic?" And that's a very interesting question. And how he answered it truly just warmed my heart, because what he said was, ashes are ashes. Ashes and the act of placing the ashes on the forehead is a reminder that we are dust and we are made from dust, and to dust we shall return. It's a reminder of our mortality, and it's a symbol about the gift that God gave us with his son when he died on the cross. And I thought that was an incredible way to explain Ash Wednesday. Ashes aren't just Catholic. Ashes are blessed before they're put on your forehead as a way to symbolize that you're not doing this just for the sake of doing it, but you're doing it in remembrance. You're doing it in honor of God, that it is holy. So on this Ash Wednesday, whether you're Catholic, Protestant, or something else, we're all God's children, and God sent his son for all of us. So please just remember that as you enter Lent. And if you're giving something up for Lent, I'd love to hear about that in the comments below. The last few years, I have taken to not giving something up, but doing something extra. So if that's your approach, I'd love to hear about that as well. And doing something extra, today is Random Acts of Kindness Day, right? One of my favorite things to do is to pay for someone's meal in line at the drive-thru. Now, I don't go through drive-thrus much anymore because I'm really trying to eat healthy. But even in a restaurant, just to anonymously pay for someone's meal, I think that that's a random act of kindness that has ripples we will never, ever know. So folks, it is so awesome to see such a wonderful crowd on tonight. Thank you for being here. Hi, Tracy. Tracy, it's great to see you. Tammy, good to see you. Catherine, thank you for joining in. Teresa, good. Folks, that's the way this works. This is an interactive show. We want you to post your comments down below. And when our guest comes on, please ask questions. We love to have questions asked so that we can stump our guest, right? That's the name of the game. No, not really. But our guest has answers. I'm sure she does. So if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. So without further ado, let's talk about our guest. You know, at the beginning of the year, everyone talks about wellness. Everyone talks about changes that they're going to make. They're going to exercise more. They're going to eat healthy. Well, this lady is a rock star when it comes to wellness. So this evening's guest is none other than Judi Hladek. And Judi is an expert in the fields of health and wellness, with an addition of CDC full recognition National Diabetes Prevention Program and diabetes coach. She is a woman who has traveled the world in her quest for knowledge and used that knowledge to create and develop a company fundamentally determined to create a safe and healthy future for our country. She has been involved with the health and wellness industry for more than 3 decades. She started out of the womb because this lady looks awfully young. And she has crossed the road from basic physical fitness to total mental and spiritual well-being. She is the creator of the Wellness Bridge Healthy Lifestyle System. She is a writer, a speaker, a producer, and a master motivator in every sense of the word. Her energy is contagious, and her incredible passion is absolutely unmatched. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to welcome to the Bright Spot studio, Judi Hladek. Hello.
Oh my goodness. You've got my heart palpitating.
Oh, right. You can live up to all of that. I know you can. I know you can.
Oh my.
How are you, my friend?
I am doing well. I'm very blessed to be here. You're rocking this out, Lori. Like I said, I don't know how you put all this together in a week, in a day, and all the stuff that you do, but to add me to the element and to let me share my passion of wellness, I'm forever grateful. Thanks.
Well, I am grateful to have you here. So, Judi, it looks like we have a lot of your fans on already, but I would like you to share with us the journey that brought you to the Wellness Bridge. What did that look like? How did it start? Share with us, please.
Oh my goodness sakes. I knew the heart palpitations were going to start because I knew you were going to ask me that question, and we could be here for a very long time. But I've been involved with wellness basically all my life. My parents were wellness advocates. My dad was on the forefront of Vitamins, Minerals, and Prevention magazine. And my grandmother, who was a real rock star, was the master of the power of positive thinking. So I grew up in a realm of, spiritual, physical, and some nutritional wellness. But I also grew up in a world that exploded in the land of ooey gooey, junky, funky, and it was very hard to decipher what was healthy and what was not. But to really say the pop of this happened in about 1989, 88, something like that. And I was drafted to go to an absolutely amazing conference in California. And I was involved with many doctors at the time. I was involved with exercise and worked with Dr. Lawson, many physicians in the area, worked with maternity patients and just all kinds of stuff. And it was all in the exercise playground. So I figured that was what wellness was. And exercise fit well with me because I love to play. So I love to exercise. I love to sweat. And I used to think if I could just lock Kroger's up for just 5 minutes and I could talk to everybody there and tell them they can come to my class and we can play. They don't have to be these superstars. We can just get in there and sweat and play and laugh and just have a grand time and feeding ourselves and letting these endorphins run up to our heads and give us happy juice. But a lot happened since then. And in that year of 89, 88, something like that, at this conference, I was sitting amongst 4,000 or 5,000 wellness professionals across the globe, including Olympians, Flojo Joyner being one. And I was late for this meeting. I'm not even going to go into that because it was kind of wild and crazy. But I was late for the meeting, and it was called Lifestyle Choices. So I really didn't know what lifestyle choices was. And then I thought, oh man, they're going to tell me I'm going to do this diet thing, and I never do diet things right. I always goof them up. They've never worked for me. And I've always just been a chubba bubba, but I'm fit. I'm a fit chubba bubba. And so I went to this meeting and I'm sitting in the front and I had my baseball cap on backwards. I was late. So they made me go to the front. And a cardiovascular surgeon, his name was Dr. Jack Pfeiffer. He's no longer with us, but he was on the beginning team of creating the balloon surgery for cholesterol and things like that. And that was before you really heard anything about cholesterol. And he shined this light on me before he even started speaking. He said, oh, and you that comes in late with your hat on backwards, and you think you know what it is to be well, don't you? And I'm in my warm-up. I was walking. I was late for the meeting. And I just thought, my goodness, did I put a sign on my head? What happened? And I was humiliated. So anyway, I'm going to be talking to you before this conference is over. Okay, I don't know you. And he introduced a pediatrician. And I will never forget it. And I have traveled all over in other parts of the world and all over the United States speaking. And this always, it's how I started every presentation because it was my eureka moment. And this pediatrician asked the group, and I'm asking you, everybody out there, how many of there are parents? How many are grandparents? How many are aunts and uncles? How many are mentors to somebody that they love? And so we're all raising our hand. And he said, well, I'm going to tell you something very profound. Some of you are going to hear it. Some of you are not. Wonder what he's going to say. He said, we will be the first culture ever since the history of man to be burying our own children as well as our grandchildren due to malnutrition. And I'm sitting there going, oh my God, all these people are going to lose their kids, not me, because I'm an exercise person. My kids play hockey, they play soccer, we exercise, blah, 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 blah. I didn't think he was talking to me. It was like I went and had these things called blinders on. So he continues, and he continues. And I still wasn't getting hit yet. And I walked out of that room an hour later and ran into Flojo Joyner. Those of you maybe too young to know who Flojo was. But oh my, she was like a racehorse. I mean, you just stared at her because she's absolutely gorgeous. And she said, I'd like to talk to you. Aren't you the one who came in late? I'm going, oh, man, what happened? And I got a chance to chat with her. And then I got a chance to meet this Dr. Pfeiffer again after that chat. And I shared with her some stories about my kids. And she said, well, how are they? Do you eat healthy? I said, well, maybe not healthy. But my kids are athletes and we're athletes and I teach exercise. Okay. She said, tell me about your kids. What's it like in your house when they grow up or when they get up? So I said, okay, we get up. They don't like to get up. So we're shaking them and rattling them and I'm running up and down the steps 150 times. And they probably grab a Coke or a Pop-Tart or something and they're off to school. What are they like on the soccer field that you keep talking about? And they love soccer so much. I said, they're pretty good athletes. I said, except my oldest one's like a loose cannon. I'm always afraid he's going to hurt somebody because he was so intense, just so intense. And she said, oh, really? I said, yeah. She said, what about your other ones? I said, well, they call Marky Cheeseburger, but he's just chunky like us. You know, it's just in my genetics. We're chubba bubbas. And then I had my son, Luke, and I said, yeah, he's got a little bit of a weight problem. She said, oh, I said, I don't know what he eats when he goes to his friend's house. She said, oh, really? So we continued to talk, and she slapped me upside the head, Lori. She said, there's nothing wrong with your kids. It's you. And she said, you suck.
Oh, my.
And I'm like, seriously? And she said, she's taping me. I'm being taped. So she plays back the tape. And I'm like, what did I say wrong? All of a sudden, I didn't know whether I was supposed to cry. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. In comes Dr. Pfeiffer. He takes me out of the room. He lets me view open heart surgery. Putting in the balloons and showing what the plaque looks like coming out of the veins. I lost it. He said, Judi, I don't know why we're talking to you, and I don't know why we picked you out. But I hope you own this. And Lori, I did. I met the diamonds that wrote the books Fit for Life. I was all over the place. Heber from UCLA. I mean, I was like, I didn't sleep for days following that. I came home. And my family was all excited to see me because I'd never left before. And we come in and I said, before we even talk, we need to have a family meeting. And my husband's looking at me like, what do you mean a family meeting? I said, family meeting in the living room right now, because if I don't tell you what happened to me, if I don't tell you right now, I'm just going to explode. I must tell you. And that was before cell phones, Lori. So I didn't have any communication going back and forth while I was there. And we're sitting on the couch, and all three of my kids had red hair. And all of a sudden, I've got them sitting there together. And it's Matt, Mark, Luke, red hair. I'm going, oh, man, they really do have red hair. John's sitting on the back of the couch. And a young man that I adopted, Anthony James from Trinity, was a soccer player for Jesuit, was also there at the time. And we're sitting there. And I said, give me 5, guys. I'm like the best mom. What do we do? And they're just slapping my hands, and they're looking at me like I'm crazy. And I said, I want everybody here to tell me something I'm awesome at. So they said some nice stuff. And John's looking at me. I'll never forget it because I can still see the look in his face. I think we've got a PMS thing going here. Guys, just roll with this. Just roll with her. Just roll with her. I don't know where she's going right now, but just roll with her. And I said, well, I'm going to tell you why it was so awesome. Because without even knowing it, I have played a very intricate role in creating heart disease in the most precious people of my life. Someone I was given to you, they were given to me as a gift from God. And I took that parenting gift really serious. So, and this is what I'm feeding you out there. When you have a chance to hear the truth, no diet. Forget all this crazy stuff. We've got enough stuff that throws us into space. And dream stealers that say this, and no, you can't eat this macronutrient. No, you can't do that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about every one of us has the same best friend. Did you know that? And it's your body. You were given that. That's your gift. A lot of dream stealers out there have played havoc with that gift. How brilliant was it for a fast food industry to have a playground there? I don't know how many pictures I have on a clown with my kids on his head. Brilliant. And we were the house of ooh it, goo it, junk it, funk it. That's where you came to get it. When you came to the soccer field and I was the donut lady, I came in with donuts that looked like something you could throw into the swimming pool and use as a life preserver. I was the one, man. It was happening. I'm not messing out sunflower seeds. Are you kidding me? And this, Lori, it was profound. And I'm sitting there and I showed my kids the clip. And Matthew, my loose cannon, he's going, Mom, this is so gross. I can't believe you're making us watch this. I said, seriously, there's no blood. And you just watched The Terminator slice somebody in half last week and thought that was the best movie you ever saw in your entire life. So I don't know why this is gross. But that's where I had to start, Lori. I had to go to my pantry. I had to figure it out. I didn't know what to do. It was the beginning. But you know, I really believe I have a very deep spiritual faith. And I believe there are voices that are given to us by other people using the voices. I'm a teacher. I'm not a doctor, lawyer, and Indian chief. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not an exercise physiologist. But I'm a teacher and I'm a coach. I can't sell anything. I couldn't sell a car, but I can sell life. And my middle son, Mark, said to me, I don't understand, Mom. I'll never forget that. Why people question joining the Wellness Bridge when you're selling life, but they don't question buying a carton of cigarettes. And that's selling death. You know, and it's so these little things that would come in at me, and we made the changes and we made them slow because I had no idea. And I couldn't figure out how to even do it. So I started doing lectures in my home, subliminal messages, of course, because my kids are in the other room and they're hearing me jibba jabba to parents and all this kind of stuff. We've got to do something. We got to band together. And I've had a lot of stuff happen to me, Lori, just a lot of stuff. But that was the eureka moment. And I listened to it and then I shunned it. I went away from it. Then I listened to it again years later, shunned it, went away from it. Got very, very sick in 2005 and almost died. I caught 4 bacteria on an airplane ride or wherever it was from Hawaii, whether it was in Hawaii, I don't know. But it was the Judi form of COVID. So my blood was all over the country. They had no idea what I had. When you came to see me in the hospital, you wore these big masks. You looked like somebody from outer space. My blood didn't recognize me. The eosinophils were multiplying like baby rabbits. My liver went toxic. My pancreas went toxic. My right kidney was shutting down. Carried fevers 107, 106 degrees, 2 hours, trigger chills 2 hours, profuse sweats 2 hours. That went on and on and on and on, in the hospital, out of the hospital. And I didn't know I was going to survive that. And a doctor at Ohio State, when I was finally shipped up there, they had to take all these meds off me, and I was PICC lined in 4 places. Then became allergic to all the meds. So now I'm allergic to penicillin. And my veins collapsed. I mean, just all kinds of crazy stuff. And he said, the only chance we have is if your body has a memory. So what do you mean? He said, I don't know what this wellness bridge thing is, but it'll be proof in the printout whether it works. And I survived. And my temperature started to go down. I was able to come home. And it was a very critical time for the Wellness Bridge right then, because it was getting these visionaries were going out. And everything I'm doing with Wellness Bridge now was this vision that I had, 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. And we're all sitting there. We got boards of directors. We've got intellectual properties done, and we're getting ready to do franchise. We're getting ready to do all this stuff. My sons came home from Vegas to come and help me with this venture. And that's when I got sick, right at that time. So I became incapable of working and convalescent for quite some time. Meanwhile, close to $1 million that was invested blew up. So I was humiliated. I was sick at my stomach. I thought I destroyed my kids. And I just lost it. So slowly but surely, there were these calcifications that happened in my emotional compass. And I didn't think I was going to survive. I really didn't. And then something real profound. Well, there were several big things that happened. And this was in 2010. And then I lost my dad. And I'm already face planted, but I didn't let people know I was face planted and depressed and all this other kind of stuff, because people want to see this coach. And I couldn't survive anymore. And I slowly but surely became morbidly obese, became very sick, was working for another company, and hated wellness. I felt that it was destroyed me. And it's like, what was I listening? This wasn't, I must have made this all up. And then all of a sudden in the end of 2014, I was doing wellness for this company. And part of me doing corporate wellness, I would demand blood profiling. I never saw a doctor after 2005. I never went back, except for female reasons. But I never went back to a doctor. I knew I was sick. I would get my profiles done because I taught profiling. And that was my way of looking at to see, oh man, my liver enzymes are really bad. Geez, they keep getting worse and worse. Something's bad. My kidneys are still not doing well. But in 2014, I got an HbA1c of 14.8, my sweet. And I had to bite the bullet of type 2 diabetes. I was so sick with type 2 diabetes that I shouldn't even be sitting here right now, let alone the liver disease. It was a full-blown fatty liver. Pancreas was malfunctioning. Nothing worked. I came home and I told my husband, I'm going to die. The second time. He said, what are you talking about? I said, well, this time I'm telling you, you might not know what I'm talking about. I called my buddy, Dr. Greco. I thought Carol was coming through the wires of the telephone. She was wanting to shoot me up with insulin. I said, no. I need to re-own something that God gave me the mental ability to do. And I need to re-own the wellness bridge. It scared me to death. I thought my husband would have a heart attack when I told him I was going to go back and re-own Wellness Bridge. I had to go down to my office because I've written enough stuff that I could probably paper the White House with it. And I'm going through all of my old stuff because my friend Bert would not let me burn it. I wanted to burn it all. And she wouldn't let me. All my manuals, all my books that I've written. And I start studying. I said, it's the only way I can save my life. I've coached diabetes. So John made me an appointment in Cleveland Clinic with Dr. Sukar, who's one of the top in endocrinologists. He said, Judy, we need to do surgery. We need to get into your liver. So you're not going anywhere near me. Give me 1,000 IUs of metformin twice a day. Give me some Actose for my liver. And I'll take a little bit of Lisinopril. I don't want any of this cholesterol stuff. Don't put me on anything. Don't do it. Let me see what my body has a memory to do. Because remember when that doctor said if it has a memory? And I came home and I pushed the pedal to the metal. And my HbA went from 3.5 months, from 14.8 to 6.2. No cholesterol problem at all. No fatty liver. Lori, wellness heals. It takes you, it heals you. I mean, yeah, you're going to melt down a little bit when you're healing and you're not eating new and gooey junk and funky, and all that kind of stuff. But you heal. It's amazing grace. If there is anything as a parent that I've ever done, besides their bicycles that you buy them at Christmas time and all that kind of stuff, I pray my children take the legacy and the strength of what the Wellness Bridge can do for them.
Judy, your story is just.
I wasn't going to say this story. That wasn't even what I was going to talk about.
No, it's okay. That is what this is about. And I had read, I read your story ahead of time, but to hear you tell it and hear the passion that you obviously have for wellness, where do I sign up? I mean, just I am in awe.
It is.
So let's talk about that. So how do you put wellness into your life? You have a 6-step program, correct? We
got a program that's a lifetime program.
So tell us about that. Tell us the steps to get wellness back into our lives.
What they have to do, what everybody has to do first is get real. You need to remove your blinders. Horses wear them so they don't get spooked. I refer to blinders a little differently. I lived in blinders. I mean, I thought it was fine to be a little jumbo baba. I thought it was fine to whatever, it's fine. We can go through and get 2 burgers, 2 fries for $2. I can feed the whole team for 2 burgers, 2 fries for $2. I don't have time. So these blinders stop us. And our culture has made them quite magnificent because they create what I call itises. We have a right eye, we have a left eye. The right eye they're circles. So I'll use O words, and you've got being overwhelmed with your right eye and obstacles with your left. So when someone says, I'm going to do wellness, all of a sudden, itises. Oh my God, I can't. I'm too busy, itis. Oh my God, I can't afford itis. Oh my God. But this gimmick was on, and this is what I should do. And I just saw this on the internet, and this is what you got to do. And I'm not supposed to eat any carbohydrates because, they're just going to make me fat. I mean, just all this insanity. And it's all itis, but they're the biggest itis of all is the blame-itis. We all have it. It marries every itis that our eyes cover up, or we believe the excuse-itis. We believe it because we got the blame-itis. Kids blame their parents if they maybe didn't make it somewhere or do something. Get a grip. You become an adult. Forget the blame game. Own it. Own it. And when you own it, this is where the Wellness Bridge steps in. And we play in what I call my playground. Nobody wears wellness the same way, Lori. Nobody does. Everybody thinks wellness is the weight loss deal. You can't get into visceral fat at all if you don't heal your cells, your glands, your tissues, and organs. And the only way to heal them is to do what's behind me. And everything behind me, you're going to get all of these organs going, and then it's going to go up the biggest organ of all, which is your brain. Your brain lives on carbohydrates, but not cookies. It lives on all of that color. All those phytochemicals penetrate the blood-brain barrier and go, psh, I'm going to feed you and make you well. So that's what has to be done first. You have to own physical activity, but everybody thinks they got to go to a gym. Everybody's got different desires of what physical activity is. The greatest invention of all is one of those crazy watches, because it can be your own personal trainer. But you're trying to get 150 minutes a week. That's not that difficult. So what we do first is understanding we've got these on, and to really have a blast as you start removing them. And then they come back on, and then you laugh at it, and then they come away, and then they come back on. So the blinders are what's getting you. That's why we believe gimmicks. Because our blinders say, well, there it is, you can do that. This isn't, we can't do it. As you remove a blinder, and let's say the very first blinder is self-esteem-itis. Maybe you've been heavy for a long time, or whatever the case is. And you swear you can't, and all of a sudden, food heals. It changes the way that brain thinks. We get out of the lizard part of the brain, we get in that frontal cortex, and it rocks. All right. So we get in there and we're playing in this playground, and we're feeling so good that self-esteem starts to get like awesome. That's when we become conscious. Now, Brene Brown's got this conscious and vulnerability thing going down. That's been the essence of the teaching of the Wellness Bridge for 35 years, is consciousness and vulnerability. But I love the way she teaches it. So I like to use some. I wish I would have thought of some of those sayings that she used. Brilliant. But I refer to it as the third eye. I'm not talking about the pineal gland that's in your brain. I'm not talking about any of that kind of stuff. The third eye is when you become conscious. And when you become conscious and you start owning it, and you have a blast with it, and you start owning it, it's like, oh my goodness sakes of life, I feel powerful. That power is courage. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. And so when they get into the Wellness Bridge, they come in and they connect with me, Laurie, for a year, because you can't help yourself get to where your desire is in 6 weeks or in 2 months. There's no 30 pounds in 30 days. There's healing first. And we heal psychologically, we heal spiritually, we heal nutritionally, we heal physiologically. But it's owning it. Everybody out there has someone they love. Children, grandchildren, all this stuff. And when you can be well and you're playing in there, oh my God, the grandparenting, the parenting, everything becomes like an explosion. Can you imagine what this world would be like if everyone realized that their body that God gave them was their best friend, and that they had their bodies back? I will never be obese again. I will never be heavy again. I just thought that was my MO. I didn't blame it on anything else I was doing, but it's fun. It's fun because the reality, the joy, the empowerment of consciousness. And when I get a chance to help somebody play with me, it humbles my soul, because everyone that I have the opportunity to work with now, I'm 68 years old. I'm at the other side of that little mountain, but I've been given an extra gift to stay tuned. And I get this generation of the 30 and 40-year-olds. Are you kidding me? They're so screwed up. They lived in the land of ooey gooey junky funky, and then they don't know who to believe because they're big gimmickers. They don't know. And then they think they know, and they're not knowing the right stuff. So when we can make a turn there, we can change the world, Lori. a world of healthy, positive thinking, well people. You can't smoke if you're well. God embedded that in you. If you are well and your cells and your glands and your tissues and organs are getting it, it's impossible because you can't do it. It's the perfect smoking cessation. Why trauma yourself? Play in the world of wellness. Play.
So Judi, tell us about your playground. Is it one-on-one? Is it group sessions? How do you conduct your classes?
Thank God for Zoom. And if my kids are watching this, they'll say, we were telling her this 30 years ago, but we didn't have any of this 30 years ago. These were visions that all of my little visionary monkeys had. And, but I've always done it. Originally, it was done one-on-one. You came into my office and every 15 minutes, somebody else was there. And it bothered me because I never really got a chance to coach them. We would jam. And if their biggest thing was they wanted to get on the scale, and I didn't even want them to get on the scale. I wanted to know, where are we? So that was the beginning. Then it went to classroom. And so I was meeting at East Ohio. I was all over the place in Dr. Greco's office, in offices everywhere, and even in my home office, and teaching that way. Then what flustered me was, okay, somebody gets sick. The weather gets bad. Nobody can get to class. Now they're all upset. And then you can't recreate the class you teach because probably, as you can tell, I don't script. So whatever I feel like God's going to throw out of here, that's what that class is going to get. And they'll get the elements of what the class was designed for that specific time. But I couldn't recreate it. And it was driving me crazy. So I started making a video stream and creating the 27 classes that synergistically bleed together for one solid year. Then right before COVID, a friend of mine, I was coaching her one-on-one, and she was coming back through again for another round. And because once you're into the Wellness Bridge, I'm your coach for the rest of your life as long as I'm breathing. So there's never another fee. Once you're in, you're in. You're in forever. And unless you just want me to foo-foo and get out of there. But she told me about Zoom. So I'm trying to learn this Zoom thing because webcam and some of these other things were way too difficult to figure out how to do it. So I was Zooming before COVID and bringing people into class that way. Well, now you can be having a birthday party and have me in your headset and there's Zoom class at 7:00 and not miss it. Plus, all of my Zooms are recorded. So my husband designed a very, very playful, easy to use website. Bless his heart. And it's the dream website. It was the dream of 30 years ago, what this website is like. And there are hundreds of hours of teaching and classroom on there. So literally somebody can do the Wellness Bridge just by being with the website and me guiding them through that, or they can attend the Zoom classes. The Zooms are open to everybody that has ever participated with the Wellness Bridge. We just started a new one recently. But once you're in, you can ping pong and go to all of them. If you need me, I'm available to every single person in the bridge 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, either through a telephone call, a text, an email message. Pop on Zoom. I'm fixing dinner. Let's talk. Let me see what I can help you with. Meet at the trail and take a walk with a mask. But that's the other thing that's beautiful, because we've been able to bring and never stop the momentum of what the Wellness Bridge is. You don't need to be a type 2 diabetic. I'm not on any meds. My HbA1c is like 5.2. I'm not on anything. Your body heals. It has a memory. And even if somebody's body doesn't have a memory, I was just a little bit lucky because I was in this playground playing. But even if they don't, I'm watching like the earth turn upside down with what's happening to the members in the Wellness Bridge. I refer to the members as keepers of hope, because my keepers of hope are my inspiration. Because they said yes and started playing with me, They made me dive, and they made me study, and they made me retrain my brain again. And they gave me a reason for my life is for where it is right now. I thank my husband for letting me embrace something that at one time caused us severe pain. I embraced my kids. They were scared to death. I saw the fear in their eyes when I told them I was going back into the wellness bridge. They were scared to death. But you know what? It's God. And I believed that a long time ago, and then I stopped believing it. But God's miraculous.
Well, he certainly had a plan, Judi.
Yeah.
He certainly had a plan.
Yeah.
Folks, if you want to learn more, please visit thewellnessbridge.com. I do apologize. I had it up there, and for some reason it is not displaying now, and it may have something to do with what I told Judi earlier, and she let John know. So maybe he's making an adjustment to the website.
Yeah, he's been working on that before this.
Okay. So folks, please don't, please check back on thewellnessbridge.com if you want more information about Judi and you want to be a part of the Wellness Bridge. Please check out thewellnessbridge.com. Judi, is there any other way people can connect with you? You have a Facebook group?
I do. I do have a Facebook group, and I'm not real Facebook friendly, but I have one. And you and I were chuckling on that when you first asked me to do this, but I can give you my telephone number. So let me do that, because it's a great way. All you can do is text, and I can promise you, if you're just calling to find out some things, I can send you the website, because I'd like you to watch What is the Wellness Bridge, and it'll tell you a ton. And I will never bug you. So don't think that I'm going to be calling you and bugging you and bugging you. Well, you called. What do you think now? What do you think now? I won't do that. But if your heart talks, and if I can help you with any of the comorbidities, whether it's Chubba Bubba land to cholesterol to any of it, if I can help you with the energy, with the positive thinking, with just the glory of seeing your life change right before you, I would be humbled to do that. And I would know that it's meant to do. I stay pretty quiet on this thing. So that's why you first asked me, like, I could be able to do this.
Oh my goodness, you have
been coming out of my box doing this today.
It's been wonderful. See, now it's really funny because a lot of speakers who are used to being on stage and speaking to an audience, being on Zoom is very uncomfortable for them because you don't see people. There's not people to react to. And as speakers, we play off of the audience.
Yeah, we do.
But you've been on Zoom long enough to know that there are people on the other side of the camera, and they are watching, and we've had a great group of people watching. Folks, if you have questions, Judi will take your questions now, and we're going to get that phone number to you right now.
It's 740-232-4682. That's 740-232-4682. That's right on, right there. And you can just text me, or you can give me a buzz, and I will feel very blessed if you did.
Okay, and you can find Judi on Facebook, and I will show you what that Facebook page looks like so that when you get there, you'll know it's the right place. And Judi, I'm sure folks may ask, do I have to be a member of the Wellness Bridge to join the Facebook group?
No, you don't. I get these messages all the time saying, can I join the Facebook group? Yep, I pluck you in there. You do, though, for the website. That's a teaching website. So that's where every single thing that I've ever taught, that I've ever done, is positioned. So I'm very protective of the intellectual properties there. So you do have to be a member of the Wellness Bridge, the coaching connection, to be able to join and participate in the website.
Okay. So folks, again,
There's a homepage on the website that you can get a lot of information from.
the phone number is 740-232-4682. You can call or text Judi with your questions or comments. And if you would like to visit the wellnessbridge.com,
Mm-hmm.
there's an owl, so if you can't get on right now, please check back later, and you can get lots of information there. And we do have, let's see, Judi, talk about the podcast Zoom recordings, but I think you just did that, or is that something different than what you're talking about?
Well, what I do when we have class, and say we're having class on Tuesday night at 7:00. When we have class, I record that class. And so when they're a member of the website, inside there's a bar that goes across, and one bar will say videos. And those are the intricate teaching videos of the 27 synergistic classes that are the foundation of the year's program. And then there's another icon there called podcasts. And that's where I put all my Zoom information from. So that's, I guess, but you have to be a member of the website just to get in it anyway.
Okay. And we have this lovely comment.
Yeah.
I've been with Judi for almost a year. I do believe without Judi, my health would not be where it is today without her. I couldn't walk up a flight of steps without having trouble breathing. She has taught me the importance of eating healthy and getting my 30 minutes a day exercise. I now am able to do things I couldn't do before. Thank you, Catherine, for sharing that with us.
Thank you very much. I'm very humbled.
And if you go to the website, there are testimonials on the website, much like Catherine's. You can read about people that have had great success with Judi's program. And folks, please check it out. Give Judi a call, 740-232-4682, or visit thewellnessbridge.com. Judi, is there anything we have missed that you would like to leave our audience with tonight?
All I want to do is just say, embrace your lives. Only you can do that. Nobody can do it for you. And you have an opportunity to be healthier than you've ever been in your entire life. And you have an opportunity to take ownership in that. It doesn't happen fast. It's something that happens very slowly. But as you peel this amazing, all of these little things away from you and get the incredible belief of your value and the amazement of your health, no one can take that from you. It's yours, just like your body's yours. So what I say is blessings to you. We've got Easter coming. Thank you for the beautiful testimony on Lent, beginning of Lent today and Ash Wednesday. And all I want to be able to see in my lifetime is people embracing their health and taking ownership in it.
Well, Judi, I cannot thank you enough for joining us tonight here in the broadcast, in the studio of Bright Spots. And I wish you much love and happiness. And I know that you and I are going to stay in touch.
Oh, I want to, Lori.
and we bid you farewell until next time. And please, if you would like to come back on at some point when the world opens back up and maybe classes start happening in person again. And so I do have one question, though. When your classes were in person and you were teaching wellness, was exercise, I know you hate yoga, but did you teach yoga?
I'll do it. I hate it because I'm about as flexible as a tree trunk, but I do it every day. So namaste. I do it. I just have to bite the bullet. Exercise is part of everything that I do. So, but it's just teaching the simplicity of it, and people can be very dramatic and do all kinds of wild stuff with exercise. But yes, I do. And you know what, Lori, I don't know if I'll ever really go back to live. in classes. I think the Zoom platform is so incredible. I'm looking at the statistics and things that are happening with everyone. The closeness is tighter. They don't feel intimidated. They've lost some of the itises, which is I'm too busy itis. That has been lifted because of Zoom. And I feel that I'm more available this way and less stress trying to get to a location, or the door is going to be locked and how are we going to do it? And so, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, but I would come back on anytime that you'd want me to come back on and lift or chat about, all the different variables of what wellness is. Like I said, no one wears wellness the same way. Everybody has different needs and desires for that.
Are the classes offered at different times of the day for people that work? Are they in the evening, on the weekends?
Yes, they are. And I played with that scenario too. So I love the 7 o'clock hour because it gives people a chance to get dinner out of the way. And if they're babysitting, whatever, they could sit there in their PJs and say, I'm going to have a glass of water, just watch this. So I think it's a real perfect window, that 7 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the evening window. That's what I've been doing right now. The one class that's just began, it meets on Tuesdays at 7, but I have what's called an open Zoom that, and what I mean by that, it doesn't follow the class structure. There may be amazing comments that were coming to me through the week that I will create a Zoom message for like that Monday Zoom in. So it's a time to just really take it and then just really go crazy with it. So Wednesdays I do Zoom at 7 o'clock. Sometimes I do a lot of impromptu Zooms. I might say, hey, I'm going to be on Zoom Sunday night at 6. You want to come on? Let's talk. So I'll do different things like that because it just makes it available to do it. And it keeps that connection.
So Barb says, I'm thankful for the Zoom classes. I'm 3 hours from Judi and she has blessed me beyond measure. She is genuinely passionate to coach wellness.
Oh, bless your heart, Barb. And speaking of that, I coach people in Germany. So that's the other beauty of Zoom.
Yes.
So no matter where you are, we can play. And I couldn't do that before. So.
Right. And Bert says Zoom is great. If I miss a class, I can watch it at my convenience. And boy, that's true, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's just,
I'm hoping that, people that couldn't get to see this will get a chance to see it as well.
And that is the beauty of StreamYard as well. And once we're done this evening, this video will live forever on social media, YouTube, and on Judi's website, as well as my website. So feel free to visit brightspots.com and click on Judi's picture, and you can read all about her. Visit her website straight from there. And also later this evening, you'll be able to watch the repeat of this evening's show. Judi, thank you so much for being here tonight. I can't wait to spend some more time with you. And we'll have you back on again soon.
Okay, thank you. God bless everyone. Happy health and bunches of blessings.
Well, folks, that ends another episode of Bright Spots. I do hope you'll come back next week. Next week, we have a double dose of Bright Spots. We have a Wednesday and a Thursday night show. 2 great guests, and I hope that you're able to join us. I sure enjoyed tonight. I hope you did too. Please be sure and visit brightspotsov.com and check out our upcoming shows. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of Ash Wednesday, and we'll see you next week.